Dessert time? Nah. Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for coming to check out my Kickstarter review video where I'll be going over the campaign since it started and going over some of the updates, expansions. I'll also be letting you know at the end of this video if this is something I'm going to be backing. So I've already gone over how the core game plays as well as the Infinity Gauntlet expansion. So if you want to know more about that, I suggest you check out that video. I'll leave a link in the description below. There is one new pledge added to this campaign called the Infinity Pledge, and that comes with the core game, the Infinity Gauntlet expansion, and the Black Panther expansion, as well as a really cool aesthetic upgrade, which is the Infinity Gauntlet, which doesn't do much more than keep track of where those Infinity Stones are during the game, and looking really cool on the table. But be careful if all those Infinity Stones get collected onto that gauntlet, because your game's going to end pretty quick. This pledge goes for $90 US, which saves you about $25 if you consider what the other components cost. There's a bunch of really cool expansions added to this campaign, so let's roll up our sleeves and take a look. All these expansions are $25 US, and all of them can be mixed into the core game. You'll get a more themed experience if you just keep them together in a single game, but you can mix them up and blend the experiences together. First, we have the Tales of Asgard expansion, which adds new location tiles that are all Asgardian themed, and also adds a trader mechanic to your game. So this is added by a new challenge, and when the game starts, each player gets a hidden card, and one of those cards is going to be the trader card. So you play the game as normal, but when players get to the point that they're about to fight the villain, they can all guess who the trader is, and they'll get a small reward for guessing right. The really interesting part is from that point forward, the trader actually gets to play as the villain, and they get to do this by picking which master plan cards they get to play next and which heroes they're going to attack first. This also comes with the Beta Ray Bill Kickstarter exclusive. Secondly, we have the Guardians of the Galaxy Remix Edition. The locations for this are all space themed, and there's actually a location that lets you trade actions for cards and much more. This expansion comes with the Plan B challenge, and that adds 3 new missions to the game, which you can try to achieve instead of your regular missions. These ones are a lot more difficult to complete, but if you complete them, you actually don't need to fight the villain at all. And the Kickstarter exclusive for this one is the Gamora Miniature. And the final expansion that's available on the campaign at the point of filming this is the much awaited Into the Spider-Verse expansion. All the locations are New York themed, and it also adds a new secret identity challenge where you're trying to keep your identity hidden. I'm a huge fan of seeing gag characters show up in these campaigns, so I'm really happy to see that the Kickstarter exclusive for this one is Peter Porker, not to be confused with Spider Pig. So that's all the expansions that they have released right now. But I took a look at some of the characters that they've unveiled, and there's still no Daredevil, and there's still no Doctor Strange. So there's a good chance one of those might show up in another expansion. Something a lot of you might be really interested in is the playmat for this game. This game mat doesn't add anything new to the game, but it'll keep everything organized and looking nice on the table. My only complaint is I hope that they do something with the artwork because it does look a little bland. So going through the stretch goals, I also wanted to point out that the solo mode has been unlocked. So that's a great way to learn the game before your friends come over. Or if you hate your friends, you can play without them. So there's a lot of updates for this campaign, so I'm just going to pick out a couple that I think you might find interesting. There's a whole update dedicated to showing you what these miniatures look like painted, so if you want to see them with some color, definitely check that one out. There's also an update that goes over the whole design process of these heroes, and turning these into a chibi style is a fairly new way to look at the Marvel Universe. I'll leave links to both of these in the description below if you're interested. So now I'll be letting you know if this is something I'll be backing. Hey guys, I just wanted to pause here for a second to ask you, what do you think of all this? You know, this takes a long time to put together. I do my research, I film and edit this all myself, and I'm doing crazy editing tricks I didn't even know I was capable of. If you appreciate what I'm doing here, please like this video and consider subscribing because I do this for you. I don't get paid for any of this, and I've invested a lot of my own money into all this equipment around me. If you feel like you can help motivate me even more, check out my Patreon. If not, I'm going to keep doing these as long as you're watching, so you're doing a lot already, and I appreciate the viewership. I've taken up enough time talking about this, so let's get on with the video. For me, this one's a no-brainer. I can't wait to paint these minis. Having that comic book theme means I can take a brighter approach that's just so much different than some of these other minis that you might have seen. Also, the fact that Venom and Carnage showed up, I might have to buy 2 copies. With all the stretch goals that have been reached so far, the hero roster is getting really big. But there's still some characters that I really want to see. I would love to see the Punisher, Jessica Drew, Silver Surfer, Fin Fang Foom, Deadpool, Squirrel Girl, and at least one super powerful villain like Beyonder or Eternity, or Ego in planet form. That would be amazing. Red Hulk, Dormammu, Galactus, Morbius or Deacon Frost to go with Blade, and what about the Kingpin, one of the most iconic villains? I'd like to see more from the Spider-Man universe as well to pull that Sinister Six together, or at the very least, you gotta give us Rhino. I'm interested to hear what characters you want to see show up, or if this campaign already ended, who do you think they missed? Let me know in the description below, and as always, keep that shelf cluttered and the table full. Oh, and one other thing, a lot of people have been asking for a gameplay video, and I just wanted to point out that CMON doesn't ship out prototypes, so you're not going to be seeing one of those. Sometimes they will post one themselves, but that's about the most you get for a CMON campaign. But if I think about it, I think I do know what this might play like. Avengers! What do you guys think of my videos?
I've seen worse.
Oh. I'm sorry.
No, we could use a little worse.
Stark, we got him. Just like you said.
And tell him to suit up.
Now might be a really good time for you to get
Filming. That's my secret, Cap. I'm always filming.